On the street, in the water, chances are you've seen personal protective equipment like masks somewhere they aren't supposed to be. A study from the Ocean Conservancy earlier this year shows more than half of survey participants see PPE pollution in their communities daily.
The volume of that type of PPE absolutely exploded. It still is the case today, of course.
Tom Zaki is the founder of TerraCycle, a waste management company that operates in 22 countries.
We've been at TerraCycle recycling PPE for, over 15 years.
It collects and recycles hard-to-recycle materials.
Cigarette butts to dirty diapers.
The problem with items like gloves and masks is that they can't be recycled with more traditional items like cans and glass bottles.
It's not economically profitable for waste management companies to bother recycling PPE, so it all ends up as garbage. And then unfortunately, especially in consumer use settings, much of it can also end up as litter.
TerraCycle has a process for it.
Suddenly, locations that were not using our services before, like bars and restaurants and supermarkets and offices, started using TerraCycle to recycle the PPE.
First, it gets collected, then
sort out any macro contaminants. Then we take it, we amalgamate it into large volumes. And in the case of PPE, it gets shredded. The plastics get melted into new raw materials.
All of this is done through a high-temperature process that decontaminates, and then the raw materials are sold to manufacturers. Recycling companies all over have seen an increase in PPE.
I have been amazed at how many gloves and masks and PPE-related items you see along streets.
Corey White is with SteriCycle, another waste collection and recycling company.
We have seen a modest increase in the amount of PPE coming from hospitals and doctors' offices.
That's where most PPE is being used.
Over the course of the first year, we issued out and consumed approximately 1 million masks.
Director of Supply Chain at UC Health, Matt Putman, says they capitalized on recycling guidelines to make sure items that needed to be thrown away were thrown away, while other items were recycled.
We were able to divert a lot of items from landfills and from incinerations because of those very careful plans.
While it's hard to put a number on exactly how much waste we're talking about, an analysis done by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology says if every healthcare worker in the U.S. used a new N95 mask for each patient they encountered in the first 6 months of the pandemic, 7.4 billion masks would be required.
PPE specifically does not render itself very well to recycling.
As we continue to use masks, gloves, and other items, Tom and Matt say there are ways to be more conscious with your waste.
Try to avoid things that are disposable and not recyclable in any way.
You can go out and buy masks, off of Amazon or other companies to be able to wear on your own and not always have to buy the consumable, disposable product that's out there. So that's what we learned, and we're going to continue to learn.
I'm Chloe Nordquist reporting.